Hello everybody, welcome back to the Amazon European Masters. Viper and Gulbo coming at you after another X7 victory, this time over Gamer Legion. And to round out this coverage of the game, we're going to be talking to the support from X7. Kasing is joining us on the broadcast. Kasing, massive congratulations on yet another win here at the Amazon European Masters. How does it feel to go 2-0 in your group, taking down not only K-Corp, but now Gamer Legion?
Well, I would like to say I'm happy, but in a way, it's more like when you're proving people wrong, because a lot of people thought, you know what, we're from NLC, we're X7, they have some players that were in X, LEC, whatever, and they never performed that well and blah, blah. But in a way, it's nice to actually play the team and actually start getting results, because obviously the past years, I've only been like, top 8 EU Masters, and people have thought, oh, that guy should retire already, whatever. So it's a really nice feeling.
So it really just seems like you guys haven't been tested yet, at least like from what we saw for the NLC finals, what we saw against K-Corp, maybe a little bit today in the early game, but outside of that, you bounce back again. Do you feel like we're going to see you tested at any point in the tournament, or are you just going to steamroll everything?
I mean, I feel like it's more dependent on the day. Our biggest problem has always been ourselves, even in the NLC itself, even on matches against Bifrost, for example. It's always been maybe we'll get a lead, but then we'll throw and try to skill check everything, and then just have no discipline on what we do. And when you get games like this, even today, like there was quite a bit of mistakes from our end, getting caught and whatever. And in the end, it's always been us against ourselves. So if we just keep our form and just play disciplined, play tempo, just use our brain a bit, then I think it should be easy.
I mean, the final question I've got to ask, and this is one for the NLC fans, of course, are we going to see Kasing on Yuumi in the group stages here at the Amazon European Masters?
I mean, it's one of my pocket picks, right? It's actually one of those champs that I actually, I quite like Yuumi, but, we'll see if I play it or not.
Wait, quick. If you got a world skin, would Yuumi be the champion for it?
It's kind of weird because if I ever got a world skin, before I would have always chosen Zillion no matter what, because he's always been like my favorite champion. But I think I might actually turn to Yuumi because I think she's one of a kind champion, and I think she's amazing. I love cats.
Amazing. Amazing. Kasing, always a pleasure to speak to you. Congratulations on the 2-0 record and good luck in the rest of your matches.
Thank you very much.
Well, I want X7 Yuumi as a skin now. Let's make it happen. But let's have a look back at some of the big plays we saw from that last matchup. And while X7 were very dominant, a couple of the teamfights didn't necessarily go all their way.
No, they're a little bit slow-paced as well, but it goes down to the stylistic of their composition. I think Harry there just overstepped going forward, didn't even get his ultimate up properly, and therefore didn't dodge any of the damage that Jinju came out with. So I think when X7 were losing, it was playing into the strength of Gamer Legion. They were playing off the back of Jinju, but as soon as Jinju were not around, and as soon as they're able to dodge out on all the damage that Jinju is able to apply down, like for example, when you finally get the Crescent Guard, when you have the pull from Vladimir, when you have the Undying Rage, all these tools just makes it so that they can't really play towards that carry, and then they end up in an extended scenario, and what do you know, X7 had a Soraka who just, thrives in those kind of scenarios.
And these longer stages, again, it looks okay for Gamer Legion initially, but then Nite just keeps everyone alive, tempting Kasing, able to do a lot of work. Haru, of course, being very aggressive in his positioning, able to keep members of Gamer Legion at bay, and it's just a case of cleaning up shop after that point. Jaeger, of course, very angry, very quick. There's been a lot of shouting from Jaeger. First on Sion, now he's been on Tryndamere.
Yeah, remember the champion he got a pentakill on as well in the NLC, just this split as well. So, and once again, versatility of this team. You can call their drafts a bit cheesy if you want to. You can say that's why they win their games. I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like you see 5 great individuals who's able to play towards anything they really want to. And as Kasing just said himself, they're their own biggest enemy. We've seen this countless of times where they just will skill check their opponents and they'll lose because they get cocky.
And I mean, they didn't get too over aggressive in that one, managing to close it out. The solo kill on Leona at the end there as well. But once again, X7 proving that the NLC is nothing to be trifled with when it comes to the Amazon European Masters. And honestly, they're looking very, very scary. It's hard to see a way that they're really going to be tested in this group if they can do K-Corp and Gamer Legion so effectively. Of course, they still have to play Team Phantasma out of the GLL, so we'll see how they fare going there. But let's have a look forward to our next game. We've got AGO Rogue up against Crvena Zvezda. We're going to be looking at the Rogue lineup to start us up with some very well-known players. Sinmivak, Rabble, Nite, FLICKR, and beansu coming in as support. A very strong lineup who unfortunately didn't grab their first win in their first match.
Yeah, and unfortunately still playing with a substitute from beansu down towards the bot lane. He is an autofill top laner for coming in here. I was very curious to see the playstyle that AGO Rogue came out with in their first game, because it really didn't resemble anything that we saw from them at all in Ultraliga. They had been all about playing towards Sinmivak with the carry champions, him developing himself. On the side of the Red Star, if that's what you want to call him as well in the English, of Crvena Zvezda, obviously with long-standing members of DoubleAiM and TasteLess, Serbian players that we have seen countless of times as well in the European Masters. We saw DoubleAiM all the way back in 2017 or 2016 with AS's Rock as well, making it all the ways to the quarters semis, if I'm not mistaken. So sometimes every now and then we do still see the EBL team showing up.
Absolutely. But one person who hasn't been showing up is Golden Toast, the only player here at the Amazon European Masters yet to be involved in a single kill, whether it be him killing, assisting, or dying, sitting on a 0-0-0 KDA after one match. Hopefully that changes today. And he might just split push the entire game, but we're going to be moving quickly towards Champion Select. And as you mentioned, coming in from the Balkan region, coming in from Serbia, Crvena Zvezda on the red side to go with their Red Star name, taking on AGO Rogue on the blue from Poland.
Yeah, so just jungle bans coming out in the beginning here from the side of AGO Rogue. And I want to go back to the quick point I just had about AGO Rogue. How they really won a lot of their victories was like, playing with long-range AD carry down towards the bot side, either playing with a Xayah or even playing with a Seraph. Like, this was a team who had some ingenuity as well in their roster to be able to play other champions up towards the top side, like the Tryndamere, like the Camille, like the Jayce. Like, all these carry top laners you can imagine was what Sinmivak was known for. So when they brought out On in their loss, in the matchup with Sinmivak into Sigenda, I was actually really surprised to see that, because it felt like an entire different style. And maybe it goes back to all the way what we heard from Gooby earlier today, is that a lot of teams right now in scrims, they are just defaulting to what G2 had so much success with in the LEC, which is like this front to back with a facilitating jungler and then play towards your AD carry.
And this is what a lot of players and coaches have been saying to us over the last patch and a half, saying, look, it's a very cookie-cutter situation right now. You just go in with what we know is good. And there are teams that are trying to subvert that a little bit. We saw X7 do it last time around, but we've got all our bans on the table now with Volibear, Zeri, Ari, Karma, Twisted Fate, and Rise all taken off the table.
Yeah, so you got the opportunity to go for a jungler here if you want to. It's actually just straight up going to be the Lucian. Okay, I did not expect this. If I were to talk any of the other AD carries, what we've seen so far today, what I assume to be the meta between some of these teams scrimming each other as well, is the AD carry first pick. Lucian obviously is a flex. We can definitely see him in a solo lane, but we can also tee him down towards FLICKR as well. Though this means on the side of Zvezda, they are going to be able to pick up an AD carry for themselves. They can pick up a Jarvan at the same time if that's what they want to go for. He's like the facilitating jungler that's still up and available.
So whether they go in that direction, of course, the Rakan is available if they want to put it alongside the Xayah. It's something that we've seen a little bit so far here at the Amazon European Masters. Whether they will go for that or they go for something like the Jarvan, as you mentioned, that is the question. A lot of teams have been liking picking that support third on red side, going for that counter to get themselves a nice matchup down there. With the Lucian already having been picked up, it throws a bit of a spanner in the works. It's going to be the Zhao being preferred.
Yeah, so DoubleAiM going for one where he can be facilitated in the jungler. I think I remember all the way back in the day, this guy was known for like Kindred and the likes of that. So he's a guy that loves having some resources given to him, but responses to come through from this side of AGO Rogue. And I just want to say just yet, this Nico, or not Nico, but this Lillia might not be jungle just yet. Top lane Lillia has been flourishing. I was checking the win conditions as well. I think the live patch is currently sitting at 54% win rate, with only a 2% pick rate though. But this is a champion that can actually be flex if it comes down to it. So let's just keep that in mind. But for now, let's think it's going jungle.
Let's assume it's going jungle for now. We'll pick up with that one later. The Misfortune obviously also locked in the Lorna as well. Interesting you mentioned Nico, another champion who on live patch is coming back, a little bit of a resurgence on hit, but I don't want to be hit by Nautilus anytime soon. And it's going to be the Braum. They think that the solution might have been going down towards that bot side, but with the Misfortune there, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think it just comes down into the disengage. Braum has been a really good champion into Xayah because you stop what the lethality Xayah want to do. You block the feathers, and you kind of deny that range that comes out from the pick instead. And then, you know, in general, Braum is always good into the engage supports that you get from Nautilus. On RGO Rogue, they're banning out a Malphite. This kind of tells the story that Lucian might be going up towards the top side, and it can also just be a stylistic ban because having double AD carry, slamming Malphite into that, usually just a little bit of a free win actually. But I like the bans coming out from the second ban phase. I think taking away Renata here is absolutely essential, especially with the champions coming through. Pairs so nicely into Nautilus, will just root his teammates off, Zhao as well, and of course I will do a lot of damage to their own teammates.
Jack's taken off the table as the final ban. We saw Wondro on the Gragas last time. He made his way onto the Rift. Whether it's going to go that direction, the Ornn is available as well, and with the Braum ban, that maybe points slightly in that direction if we want to get very technical about things, but we might be reading a little bit too far into it. Golden Toast on deck for the next 10 seconds. What's he going to lock?
I think we're just going to be seeing a mid laner here going in. Actually, I wasn't going to say mid lane. That was just because of the hover coming through. Wasn't ready for that one. Let me be completely honest. But they go for a default here with the Viktor into the potential Lucian into the top side, which is definitely what you can go for. Since, I mean, it's a champion where you'll forfeit the first few waves, and then until you hit 6 and you finally start getting some skill points and items on the Viktor, you'll start taking control of the lane.
So we've got the Sett and the Tryndamere locked in for ADC Rogue. Probably going to be a set down towards that bot side, just looking at the champions they've got, but there's a few options and ways that this team could end up looking. Crvena Zvezda on the red, just deciding what to send towards that top lane, and it's going to be Jayce going over to Wondro.
Yeah, so you have so much rain to play around with right now from the red star, which you can see into the low range of anyone except the Misfortune from the side of a Go Rogue pairs really nicely into it. But these extended team fights will also be very nice, especially with the sleep now being able to come through. And this might actually be a Tryndamere mid, and with Lucian going up against the Jayce to kind of answer back on the range shall come through here. So it's been a while since we've seen Tryndamere mid. He kind of fell off as soon as we saw some few nerfs to Tryndamere, also with rejuvenation beads starting to cost more. You can't really just spam that item in the beginning and then just have a few of those goes into laning phase. So we'll probably just see the standard Doran Shield, second win, or whatever you need into these long range control mages. Interesting composition nonetheless.
I actually watched a game of Tryndamere mid this week. Not at the Amazon European Masters, but that team also had a Silas support, so we don't want to talk about that one too much. But very interesting draft coming through from ADC Rogue, of course, wanting to pick up their first win in groups. What do we expect to see from these champions put together? Because I must admit, I'm a little bit confused.
I think you're looking at something where it's playing towards the side lanes, which is not usually something we see. The meta right now is very much playing towards the team fighting potential front to back. Maybe it's, once again, bringing back Devices into view, but we just see teams go for this kind of style all the time because it's easy to execute. But I'd say this composition this time around is way more Go Rogue, especially from what we've seen in the past with them, where, you know, you can play towards your solo laners, you can open up the map, and you got good damage, would you say, like different damage adaptation as to AP in the jungle, AD solo laners, so you won't have to worry about them just itemizing into the AP or AD. Misfortune can even go for the Leandri's Torment, right? So I think there's a lot of tools for a Go Rogue to still keep that thread open.
I'm interested to see exactly what Lucky wants to do with this build, because the Eclipse has been favored here at the Amazon European Masters, but of course we did see Nite going for the Leandris. We're on to the Rift for our 5th game of the day. ADC Rogue coming from the Ultra Liga on the blue side. Crvena Zvezda Red Star coming in on the red from the EBL Serbia represent. And both of these teams, I like the compositions, I like a couple of strange champions. I'm interested to see how this Tryndamere works into the Viktor, because it's not a matchup we see very often.
Definitely not. Level 6, you have the potential to run them down, but the thing is, it's a very short way on towards the mid lane turrets. That's why Tryndamere is so good in the top lane, because if anyone is overstepped, well, then at least it's a long lane and you can run them down in that before you face the tower, and you'll have to use your Undying Rage to go on for the tower dive. This is more like a lane where you wait to open up the map and then you just answer the wrong side. I think what would be the biggest worry for a Go Rogue is if Lucian falls behind, because if he suddenly starts losing lane to one of the side laners, like the Jayce, he will also start losing it to the Viktor later on side as well, because as soon as Viktor's on 2 items, if Lucian is behind the curve, well, he would get absolutely blown up if they meet.
I mean, then the question has to be, following up from that, Are we expecting to see Rabble giving some assistance up towards that top side? Is DoubleAiM going to give some attention to try and set this Lucian back?
Yeah, I definitely think that from the side of the Go Rogue, that bot lane, they will just be chilling. You know, they can get themselves a little bit of priority. They can move beansu around the map. And, you know, it's really nice to see beansu on a champion like Sett, because once again, he is normally a top laner. So being able to play a top lane champion will definitely give beansu some more comfort as well in this game. So yeah, for sure, I think they'll be pathing off towards the top side. I think they'll be playing off towards the solo laners. Really just the standard Go Rogue style here.
Which, it makes sense. You're drafting towards the style of play you want to take, especially if you lose out in your first game in groups. Reverting to comfort a little bit in terms of playstyle champions. Definitely a decent option for both of these sides. Moving into the bot side, of course, Golden Toast and TasteLess need to be a little bit careful. beansu going for the engage, putting down the damage, punching forward, the ignite rolling. But I think with the pot there, Xayah will be okay.
I mean, despite beansu being autofill, he's not afraid to just flash in and flip the game right there. Golden Toast being very low, and, you know, might as well lost his 000 KDA that you've been talking about in the pregame as well, right there. But it seems a little early. Seemed like they're a little on different pages there. LOCKR was pathing back, beansu was flashing forward, and that may have been the difference in terms of getting killed or not.
LOCKR just hurling coconuts at Golden Toast there. TasteLess unable to find the re-engage, so we'll just back away and sit safely under tower. But of course, beansu, you mentioned, isn't necessarily a support by trade at the moment, going more towards the top lane, but picking up the Sett, giving him something that he might be a little bit more familiar with as a champion, could be a decent opportunity for them to see a little bit more out of him. Sinmivak needs to be careful, as you say. Junglers coming up top, both of them here at level 3. Rabble actually level 4, but Sinmivak goes down for first blood before Lillia even arrives. Fighting to try and get some damage down. Wondro goes low, needs to be careful. Dunked down on, and the burn will get the kill. DoubleAiM now diving back forward. Rabble has to flash away. Double buffs burning. It will be DoubleAiM securing the double for Crvena Zvezda as he moves out of top.
I just want to say, I feel like Lillia is more like a deer, not so much a bird. But outside of that, that was a really good fight from Rabble until he overextended it. And speaking of overextending, Sinmivak just getting caught off guard in a lane that's pushing in. I don't think if that was miscommunication between him and his jungler, if Rabble was not close enough. But I for sure think that they should have known that DoubleAiM was pathing up towards that top side there.
TasteLess just asserting himself on lane. Interesting that he hasn't actually got a marksman to follow up. So it's all bark and no bite from TasteLess, but he is going to step forward to try and stop any kind of re-engage. But nice positive aggressive moves, and good to see both of these teams want to play around that top side to get this Lucian either ahead or behind.
Yeah, TasteLess playing back duty there, trying to stop LOCKR from achieving that recall. They could get more aggressive if they wanted to counter jungle a little, but here we have it, right? The fact that DoubleAiM is just allowed to walk into the top side right here. Red buff not even taken. I don't even know if that's a bug on the minimap right now. I think it might be. But then Rabble, I think Wondro, he's just not ready for that damage because he initially does have flash. Rabble thinks he can take the fight, but a great dash from DoubleAiM ensures that he won't be able to take the true damage from the outside of that queue, and he's able to beat Rabble in that fight.
Tsiperakos in the mid lane, going up against Nite. Nite on a very different style of champion. We saw him on the Viktor in day number 1. Had a all-right performance, but unfortunately picked it quite early to be followed up by Gwen and an Olaf, where not so pleasant for the Viktor. Can't say I hate that, but you know, it can't be something that you blind pick. This time around on the Tryndamere, didn't blind it, knew exactly what he was getting himself into. And up against the Viktor with low mana, could be looking to get some aggression going.
Yeah, they're very aggressive, especially towards playing towards Rabble, with him just going in towards the enemy jungle, see if the Raptor camps are up, see if the Grump was up early as well before we got into that replay. But with this bot lane priority, DoubleAiM is actually able to just start up the Drake, and I'm actually fairly surprised that it's not getting contested right now. Nite in the mid lane does actually have priority. He does actually have the first move, but I just don't think they've spotted him on it, and because of that, Crvena Zvezda, they're actually just able to steal away the first objective here.
Yeah, the Dragon secured Mountain. Seems like a follow-up from last game where it was our Soul. We're going to see Hextech as our second. Sinmivak just going to move in and try and grab some plates. And Wondro, this is the thing. If you let the Lucian sit around on his own, uncontested, or even give him some assistance like Rabble and Nite were considering, Sinmivak can just sit top, farm up, get pressure, and maybe take a couple of plates.
Oh, response comes through from the Red Stars here. Nite will be spotted out, will be giving over the intel, so Rabble forced to back out from its little counter jungling of the Crocs, but you can see the difference between the jungles he has right now. That's at least like 2 camps we have going there for Rabble ahead of the Zhao. But DoubleAiM, he has been able to get the 2 kills on the board, and he's been able to pick up the Drake. So right now, game's still fairly even, actually dead even in terms of gold.
Fascinating to see what the Lillia is going to provide in the team fights when you hit level 6, of course, being able to put people to sleep and setting up very nicely for the rest of the team to follow through could be on the cards. Lillia, a champion, of course, people are well acquainted with, but maybe hasn't been in vogue super recently. What do you make of this pickup into this kind of team composition?
It's interesting. It's not actually too bad in terms of accelerating side lanes, especially not when you opt in for Predator. Considering that if you catch out enemy jungle on the opposite side of the map, you can just Predator on towards this Jayce in the side lane, and he will just go to sleep, and he'll most likely die. So I think for now, the move for Go Rogue is just keep DoubleAiM track, find out where he will be, and then just attack on the opposite side of the map, preferably on the top side towards your solo laners, so you can open up the map on side lanes.
And DoubleAiM thinking about moving towards this mid lane. Nite overextended actually has already dashed out, as TasteLess trying to come on through as well. Won't be able to find the speed as Nite hanging around on a ward, so they know he's there, but he is next to the wall, does have Flash, Ghost, E available. And we'll just use that E to get out to safety. Tryndamere, not the easiest gank to make, as that's just been proven.
Bot lane priority will be gotten from a Go Rogue here. They can move their resources up towards the mid lane here, start setting up for the Rift Herald. You can already see the vision control benefiting them, at least around the river here.
See Nite just putting some damage into Tsiperakos. Just trying to assert dominance with that Rift Herald coming up. You want priority in mid lane as much as possible, and if that involves Nite taking a couple of lasers to the face, I'm sure he'll be happy with that state of affairs. Wondro in the top, just going to be pushing a minion wave in and moving forwards, but that's just because Sinmivak is already there, and beansu's going to go for the engage. Nice bullet time coming on through from Golden Toast. He's going to try and get away caught with the true damage. As we can see on the bottom of our screen, Rabble actually picks up a kill around the Rift Herald for Go Rogue, but unable to secure the final hit.
That got too close for comfort. TasteLess with the hook actually helped the Haymaker get into the true damage spot there, almost taking down Golden Toast. On the top side though, with the Tryndamere and with the Lillia, they were able to run a member down, set up the priority they already had around the Herald, and they should be able to pick up their first neutral objective here. And you like asking the question, where will we see this Rift Herald go, right? I think I'll already answer that question for you, but let's first have a look at the replay.
Yeah, DoubleAiM, this is the play that we didn't get to see because we were watching bot lane. DoubleAiM flashing away, Nite over the wall. He's actually unable to get across with the E, so has to go through. But yeah, that's what we talk about, the Lillia ultimate, able just to hold someone in place, and it's bye-bye DoubleAiM.
It's just that simple. How about are you comfortable that we reverse the question instead, and I ask you where this Rift Herald is going?
Oh, that is a recipe for disaster, basically. Okay. I'm gonna say, right, this is the thing. I saw a tweet.
You can say no. You can say no.
Oh no, we're gonna try it. We're gonna prove how stupid I am. I saw a tweet earlier today from someone, I can't remember who, talking about how funny and bad it was to place Rift Herald top. But for Rogue this game, getting their Lucian a little bit of a lead so that he can stay on parity or dominate in the side lane a little bit longer against someone like Jayce or Viktor, I can see it.
You know, I tend to agree with you here. That was actually a very good response coming through. I think mid lane and top lane is definitely where you want to utilize it here. Mid lane, if you can get it, that's the golden spot, because that is the best lane to destroy to get control of side lanes afterwards. Bullet time.
Golden Toast. First kill participation of the Amazon European Masters is going to be a death.
And he's just solo killed on the turret just like that. LFLICKR, he knows that Xayah ultimate cooldown to a T. Because of that, he just steps up and just bullet times his face to death. Okay, simple, easy, I like it.
It's simple, but it's effective. And for LFLICKR going back, picking himself up a Vamp Scepter, gotta imagine that this is going to be another one of the Eclipse misfortunes, which has definitely been the preferred build. And when it does that much damage, I mean, you can't really argue with it.
No, I actually expected to see the Liandry's coming through here, but the thing is, you don't ever want to buy double Liandry's. It kind of destroys the passive a little bit.
True. And
I think Rabble is going to be building Liandry's here himself. So going for the lethality, not all too bad, especially when your AP jungle is already ahead. But with the resets coming through, a Go Rogue, they're not really here in time ready for the Drake. And right now, Rabble is still farming wolves. I think I would have loved if they used this tempo to go for a Rift Herald play on towards one of the lanes. Instead, Rabble is still farming those camps, and that gives time now from Red Star to give a response to it.
I'm just going to be clearing out this mid lane. Rabble moving up towards that top side. Wondro hugging his tower for dear life. But it's the deer going bowling, can't find the angle. As now Rabble just going to skip in, making this a very obvious dive attempt. Throws down the Predator. But actually not going to be able to find too much and will actually move back. TasteLess is on the move, so is DoubleAiM. beansu and Nite coming through. We can see a fight across the rift here. But it's just going to be Rabble picking up those Raptors. Nite takes a whole heap of damage and has to swirl away from Tsiperakos on the Viktor. But the root, the damage for coming through from Nautilus as well. That's the Undying Rage. But there's no healing to keep him alive. He's going to have to go all the way out of harm's way, as DoubleAiM can't find the re-engage opportunity. Crvena Zvezda try and grab a kill, but just can't find the last hit.
Yeah, that was really not a nice sequence of plays for a Go Rogue. They're slow to the tempo on Drake. They're not utilizing the cross map properly either, which allows Red Star to go for a faster reset and respond to all the plays. Then afterwards, Nite is burning his ultimate and Ghost just to clear out the 75 gold there on the pink wall. So yeah, a Go Rogue still comfortable in a very good spot, especially down towards the spot side. But we're still seeing a few mistakes every now and then.
DoubleAiM actually went to sleep for a little bit, had a nap, but was ready to fight as soon as he woke up, keeping Rabble at arm's length, who is going to skip through the mid lane with the help of Nite. But TasteLess trying to go for the engage. beansu's here, though, running forward at alarming speed, but can't find the hug, can't find the grab. Rabble goes low and skips away.
Oh, DoubleAiM still around the area. They have the vision on beansu. 2 charges. 1 more would get the knock up. Rabble still haven't back, and he's actually just going to go down towards the bot side, use the Rift Herald, because there's only 30 seconds until the plating will fall, so all LocKR has to do right now is just push in the bot side and let Rift Herald take the freebie.
LocKR has been a huge bully in this lane, and he's going to be rewarded for doing so with a bit of a Rift Herald with First Blood on the tower. He's actually picking up a little bit of gold as well. And on the top side, we saw Lucian just throwing some damage into Wondro. Wasn't able to secure the kill with the culling, but a hefty chunk of damage. Wondro stepping forward. I don't know if you necessarily want this fight, Jayce, but he's going to dive through with the hammer, knock him back to the skies, and Wondro to the wind. Bounce back towards his tower.
It's the item advantage so far, with the clips being finished up for Wondro and no mythic item yet from the side of Sinmivak. But no mana, unluckily, from Wondro, so he's not able to keep up the burst, and they should just be able to go for a standard reset.
So 14 minutes, no more plates. Gold lead in favor of Go Rogue. 3,000 to the good, as TasteLess might find beansu, but neither support wants to be rumbling with each other as they back away. If you're a Go Rogue fan, how happy are you with this advantage?
I think you're happy enough with it. I think you definitely have room for improvement, but you can never be sad about being 3k gold up. beansu and LocKR need to be a bit careful when clearing out this bush, but they do have the Sett to face check it. Haymaker being ready if anyone should be the aggressor, and Rabble, he's also in the river. So they're just kind of gearing up for the Rift Herald, who will be spawning in less than 1 minute, which will be the second Rift Herald, which is crucial for once again opening up the map, which is such a big win condition for Go Rogue.
Especially when you've got someone like the Viktor, who can so easily clear out waves under that mid tower, using that massive damage spike to break it down and force Viktor further back is always going to be very useful. Fighting around later dragons, fighting around that Baron buff. Of course, we've got the Ocean will be our Soul Drake this time around, giving some respite from poke or allowing poke a little bit further. As Rabble is going to grab away that blue buff and move up towards where the Herald has just dived onto the rift.
No vision control right now, so they don't actually know that Rabble and beansu is behind them. DoubleAiM is moving up on the minimap. He's going to get spotted out by Nite, maybe distracted a little bit. And Wondro, they might be trapped on the turret now.
It'll be 2v3, a lot of damage coming down from LocKR. Wondro flashing away from it. The Haymaker back into the fight. Wondro goes low. TasteLess is be careful, but there's a teleport coming on through. Tsiperakos looking to get the stun down. beansu has to flash away, but he's going to flash straight into DoubleAiM's spear. It will be the Viktor securing the kill as Rabble moves downriver.
Wrong way, buddy. 1 for 1. At least it's a support for a top laner, so you're still happy with that trade. Rift Herald can still be started out. DoubleAiM is around the area. DoubleAiM does still have the ultimate if they want to skirmish.
Yeah, and it looks like they might be looking to do just that. TasteLess is going to be put into time out asleep against the wall, but DoubleAiM just going to guard him as he slumbers. Rabble starting up the Rift Herald, but only going to give it a poke on the way past.
Yeah, Gravity Field stopped that entrance for them. A great chokehold was set up there from the side of the Tsiperakos. And now Drake will be spawning in less than 10 seconds. So there's just so many objectives to go for. Dive is set up nicely with a bullet time, but then it's a good disengage from TasteLess that really just stops the top laner from going down immediately. beansu then flashing straight down instead of just flashing out as soon as he activates the Haymaker. I feel like it's a little bit of a mistake, but nonetheless, they still traded 1 for 1.
Golden Toast flash over the wall very nicely, almost takes down Nite. The Dragon has been started up, and it will be Ego Rogue trying to take it. Sinmivak and LFLICKR bringing so much damage down, but now they're going to be dove onto by DoubleAiM secure from the Ultra League side as DoubleAiM looking to retreat, but Rabble is there. beansu goes low, and actually, Red Star might want to move forward. They've got a little bit of speed. The health bars are on their side, but that's the ultimate coming through the choke point. Viktor goes low. TasteLess, half health as well. The Wondro and DoubleAiM moving towards this bot lane tower, trying to break it down. It's pretty healthy. Can Rogue put up a defense? I don't think they're going to want to. So the objective should go the way of Crvena Zvezda. The Dragon secured by the Ultra League, but EBL break the tower.
Yeah, they break the bot lane tower. There is a mid lane push going on from Nite. Then top lane can also be teleported forward. It is extremely low. I think they would be able to pick that up as well. Nite, don't think he'll be able to clean this up before the rest of the members of Red Star will be able to pile down. And they actually get no turrets, but at least they get the Drake for themselves.
Which first Drake for them? Ocean setting themselves up for a very long road to Soul. But if they can grab it, oh boy, will they be healing as we hit the 18-minute mark in this game. That second Rift Herald, of course, has a couple of minutes on it. So while we talk about both of these teams wanting to set up towards it, it's actually been delayed quite heftily. But now you've got Red Star hanging around in the bush on a ward, so everyone knows they're there. But they might be looking to try and bait something as you see DoubleAiM starting up the objective.
They can face check it with a ball from Lillia, roll it down river, see if it pops anyone there. Another fun interaction is that when Lillia lands asleep and Misfortune bullet times it, they don't actually wake up. Yes. It needs to be like some fast damage, so there is potential for fights where all of Red Star will just be sleeping. But for now, DoubleAiM getting caught out.
He has to throw down the ultimate to stop all of that damage, but Sinmivak is going to dive on into the realm of damage. Nite secures the kill.
Yeah, they get the Rift Herald, so let's see if this is actually going to be worth it. Rift Herald is one of those things, it's like making an investment. You don't really know how those stocks are going to go up and down until, well, you see it. So it's now on to Red Star to have the pressure on them to make the play with this Rift Herald.
If you've got Corporate Mundo, you know exactly how the stocks look.
They go down.
They go down 2-0. You say, hey, it can only get better. It can only go up. It can't. It can go down to 0. But Nite is going to take this tower down to 0, securing the kill up there, and we'll be moving down towards the river. But with that Rift Herald, as you mentioned, a great opportunity for the red side to start breaking down some towers.
Most definitely. Wondro pushing forward here. There's a bush. One in the bush just straight ahead here, which might give him a false sense of security, but Nite reveals himself, and thus we won't have to worry about the cheese.
I mean, you might have to be a little bit worried about Wondro stepping forward. TasteLess is moving up, and it's all about Crvena Zvezda on the top side of the map right now. But of course, with Tryndamere, I'm not sure about that one, Nite, but he's going to be able to swirl away. TasteLess not going to throw down anything further, and Nite knew exactly what he was doing there.
Oh, that's cheating. They actually have that team logo in the shops, man. Academy team so broken. Now, with the bot lane, can push in mid lane now that they know there's so many members of the Red Stars was up towards the top side. And yeah, I think that's just what they're going to be doing here, trying to break it open.
And they'll be able to do just that. LFLICKR with the final shot, securing it as Rabble finds DoubleAiM, throws down the ultimate just to keep him drowsy on the side as they look towards Golden Toast and TasteLess flashing away, but stepping back into the damage. TasteLess not liking how that one felt, and is going to back away. You've got Viktor on the side, though. Golden Toast goes low. So the Rift Herald dropped as it looks like Crvena Zvezda want to still try and mount something, get the root, but Viktor dragged back towards the tower, takes a whole bunch of damage. As beansu steps forward, LFLICKR secures the kill. The charge goes down, but the tower still stands.
Heal too late from Golden Toast as well, so in the end, the mid laner will go down. Question is right now, can you get more out of it from the side of a Go Rogue? They're definitely looking for it.
Yeah, they're looking for DoubleAiM. So much damage in this choke. This is not where you want to fight Rogue, as Lillia picks up one, the dunk back to try and keep Rabble alive as he gets out of stasis and runs for the hills. Golden Toast goes up and then goes down as beansu running the wrong way. Wondro will be able to grab the kill, but moves back towards his base as he realizes that Zin's already dead. Rabble moving forward, double triple for Wondro. The overextension a step too far as the top laner from Red Star picks up 3.
That is the most unintentional sick triple kill I have seen. The fact that Rabble sidesteps the accelerated shock blast and then FLICKR gets taken down by it. Betrayal by the highest level. And an easy triple kill from the Red Star top laner. I want to see the replay of that.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. Fortunately, your wish is production's command. Let's have another look at the fight.
It starts off pretty badly from the Red Stars, you know. Tsiperakos getting caught way too close to the turret. beansu just flashing forward, which just kind of seems like the signature move of him by this game. Heal too late from Golden Toast, and this is really just the moment I'm here for. Yada yada yada, fight around here, someone goes in, TasteLess go in for the kill. Kill goes over to the, I was about to say Nico as well, but it is to Lillia. And now, it's all up to Wondro here. Let's have a look at the guy, because gets the kill onto beansu, then look at the accelerated shock blast. Look at Rabble dodging it. And then FLICKR gets hit by it.
Rabble, no, but we're going back into a fight actually. So much damage coming on through. The members of Red Star go very low. They grab the dragon, but what can they gain off the back? FLICKR goes low. Gondos on the back line, needing to do the damage. DoubleAiM sets up a wall and backs away. TasteLess is actually the only one to fall. Dragon for support. That sounds worth to me.
Definitely. I mean, Red Star, they've been very good around their objective control. And honestly, Rogue, they've been lacking a little bit on it. I genuinely feel like the setup from Rabble and his teammates is not always on point. I think there's definitely room for a little bit of improvement here. Oh, Wondro, can you pull wonders again?
Oh, can he do it? It's only 1v1, but Rabble gets some damage down. That's a lot from Lillia, and the burn secures it. The statue dances away.
Watch him rush QSS now to be like, I'm never getting killed by a Lillia on side lane again. But definitely Rabble still very fed, and you can see it, man. He can run anyone down with Predator. He just needs one sleep, get the watch out, eat down, and then just pop his enemies. As Gamer Legion, or not Gamer Legion, rather, Go Rogue is now opening up the map, pushing in the mid lane, can push down towards the bot side as well, with Sinmivak setting up a push as well.
Sinmivak hanging around, gonna go towards that inner. The inner in the mid lane will crumble to FLICKR and co. There you go, Rogue backing away. TasteLess on the charge, looking to try and get something going, but unable to find anything, as the Lucian is just gonna keep putting bullets, or lasers, I should say, into that tower. Might be able to secure it, actually, and that's a lot of territory being gained very quickly by the Ultra League.
Honestly, he's just shooting good vibes. It's like the Miami skin, bro. It's like, it's like, you know, fun punk 80s. It's just good music coming through. It's just what you're putting on whenever you're side laning. And now, having pushed up towards the inhibitor turrets in the mid lane and in the bot lane, you only really have to worry about the top side. So I think you can just push with Nite down there. You can keep the Lucian on the bot side because he's the one with the teleport. Nite's the one with the ghost. So if anyone overextends against Nite, well, he can run them down. And they won't have to worry about people starting up the Baron buff because he'll still be near it.
Not able to just melt through that minion wave. On the Tryndamere in the bot side, Zvezda committed 2 members down there, which is going to call for a response from ADC Rogue rather than try to rush down onto that Baron. They're just going to try and rush down towards the bot lane and maybe grab a couple of kills. Sinmivak over the wall, gets a lot of damage on the Wondro, but he's going to turn it around, grabs the first kill of the fight, but he's going to go low. Nite cuts him down to size as TasteLess, already having used the ultimate, uses the anchor, but he's slowed and doesn't feel too good. Rabble is the only one to greet him as he gets into the river. It's a double kill for the Tryndamere.
Yeah, they're just so good at playing on the side lanes here, Go Rogue. They're just playing solo lane on solo lane, which is a style that most people don't really anticipate, but it's certainly something you can go for. You don't always have to just play with the jungler around shadowing you. When you've pushed out the lanes as you have, and the other solo laners having downtown, you can surely just play towards with each other, and that's what they did there. No one was in a position to go on the Baron, but now Rabble, Predator.
He's one fast. The Deer gonna get the damage down on to the Viktor, who throws down the silence and the slow, and actually survives for a surprisingly long time. Gonna get the flash over the wall, but Rabble is not letting his prey escape. Now DoubleAiM is in the crosshairs. Nite stepping forward, looking for the slow. DoubleAiM flashing might be enough. Dodges away from the bowling ball.
Honestly, Lillia looks so fun to play right now. He's just running all over them, just so fast. And it's so difficult to deal with as the Red Star members because there's so many champions with all this mobility. Tryndamere, invincible as soon as Wondro tries to kill him down towards the bot side. Tsiperakos as well in the mid lane, not able to keep the ground and the space in between these champions who's coming on towards them, despite him having longer range. So Rabble, definitely a big problem.
has proven to be a horrid issue in the side of Crvena Zvezda, but things aren't, they're down, but they're certainly not out. 7,000 gold to the good at the moment for AGO Rogue on the blue side. TasteLess moving down river, looking potentially to try and contest this dragon. It'll be Soul for Red Star if they can secure it. However, with the game state such as it is, might be difficult.
Yeah, I mean, more than difficult. If I had an English word for it as well, with the limited vocabulary that I'm in control of, they're 7k behind, right? This is going to be a really difficult fight they're walking into, but might be one of the better ones. TP's coming through from Wondro. He's still scary. He's sitting on 3 items on the Jayce. If they can land the poke before this fight, they're putting themselves in a really good position. But if nothing's going to stick, then this will just be an go rogue fight.
TasteLess was looking potentially to try and find the flank angle, but won't be able to, and Wondro's actually going to be put to sleep. Drowsy as the rest of the team collapse to give him a shield wall. Nite going to be forced back away with the laser. TasteLess there as well now, as Rabble unable to make that ultimate stick this time. TasteLess looking for an engagement, can't find beansu, who's playing rear guard for his team as Dragon will be started up. It's going to go down exceptionally quickly. Crvena Zvezda looking for the objective, but might not be able to find it. Looking for the fight off the back of it, though. Lucky gets a lot of damage down as Sinmivak is ripping through with the culling. beansu, though, will be the focus. Goes low, goes down, but so does DoubleAiM as FLICKR throws down the bullet time. Rabble now trying to get back 2 members of AGO Rogue already deceased as Red Star take the fight but lose out on the soul.
And crucially, Nite did not ult on the Tryndamere. That gave Sylvester so much to play around with. They can even rush towards this Baron if they want to. Their jungler is dead, but they can force a go rogue into them, and then they can look for the turn. Problem for them right now is that they're walking into range carries. They're walking into Lucian. They're going to be walking into the Misfortune, and they're going to be walking into the Lillia, who can throw the bowling balls.
They're going to be spotted out by said bowling ball, and they're going to be forced to back away from the Baron. However, we might be looking towards the mid lane here from AGO Rogue. Wolf remembers there's no tanks amongst them. But Rabble needs to be careful, throwing out a bit of damage, but unable to find Wondro.
Yeah, the deer has become the predator in this instance and matchup at least. As we take a look on towards the replay, because it's just due to the fact that ultimate has already come out from Rabble, so they're not able to go for a full turn. So it looks a little bit awkward. FLICKR comes out with the ultimate, but then it's very easily disengaged for the rest of the members. And then crucially, Tryndamere doesn't press R. I don't think I need to elaborate more on that.
Yeah, if you're not pressing on Tryndamere, you can die. Which crucially is not great in team fights, but even losing out on the fight afterwards, they do slow down that Ocean Soul. And when you're against the poke from Wondro, the poke from Viktor, all the range that Crvena Zvezda are managing to play around, giving them a little bit less regen is going to be very, very helpful as they look towards DoubleAiM. It might have overextended. There's the culling, has to throw his own ultimate out to avoid the damage on the side that will go drowsy and should be deleted, getting a lot of healing, but eventually felled by Lucian, as now it's the team from Ultraliga who might be able to move towards the Baron.
Yeah, but they don't really have one specific way to turn around afterwards.
TasteLess goes low, takes the anchor out. AGO Rogue still looking to set things up.
And I was going to say, now when the sleep is not there, you're relying on beansu finding the engage. The other guys, they're just there for pure damage. So Wondro and Tsiperakos, they can actually try and contest on that, as you can see right now, with the range that they're playing around with. So it's very crucial that when a go rogue goes for these objectives, Rabble still has the ultimate, despite DoubleAiM falling there, despite them being 5 versus 4.
Half an hour on the clock in this one. It's a longer game. AGO Rogue still with the gold advantage, but as time goes on, that becomes less relevant. Wondro on your screens has been terrifying on the Jayce so far.
And I think a lot of that came down to this triple kill where they just fed him 3 shutdowns. That was really the way that Red Star is able to stay competitive in this, because despite them being 6k down, a go rogue is not really running amok with them on the map right now. They're not really been able to just open up the side lane as they wanted to. It's been a lot of back and forth trying to find the skirmishes, and because of this, it feels like whoever just gets one good pick before one of the big objectives can just swing the game in their favor.
In the mid side, they're still trying to push through. You can see the gold on the bottom of your screens, and as you mentioned, it's going to be Wondro with those shutdowns, the only member of Crvena Zvezda with a gold advantage over their lane opponent, which when you're in a gold deficit is to be expected. But just turning back to those items, 3 items secured on the Xayah. We haven't talked too much about Golden Toast, but has started to put out a decent amount of damage, and once the burst from FLICKR has gone through, that's where Xayah can maybe start to shine.
Yeah, and the longer we go into the late game, the less the gold lead is actually going to matter. Like when you hit these 3-item core power spikes, that's where any pick that comes through, you'll still have the damage to really facilitate it. Yeah, the gold lead is nice in the full 5v5, but quite often don't we see teams be able to just fully go for a perfect game. There is mistakes, there is human error, and I think that's kind of what Red Star is banking on as well. They want to catch members off guard from a Go Rogue.
And their Go Rogue haven't been playing this game perfectly, so there is a mistake potentially in them. Whether there's another one in this game is yet to be seen. Currently they're playing a little bit reserved, a little bit defensive. There's a Dragon up in 30 seconds. There's a Baron up on the field right now. These objectives might be the next areas of interest.
Mission control currently being gathered by a Go Rogue. Pink wards has come through. Not many pink wards in the inventory right now of Red Star. Actually, there's none. So trying to go for this fight around the Drake is going to cost them. And even if they do back, they do get their pink wards, well, they're going to be slow to the play and they're going to give up their vision on the top side of the map. You can see right now, they're prioritizing that Baron vision.
Moving towards this one, though, they know that Soul would be massive for them when it comes to fighting, when it comes to taking the game. As they look to get the engagement onto beansu, goes a little bit low, but going to be putting the drowsiness down. The damage coming from Misfortune, the security of the Dragon is going to be taken by Ego Rogan. Now, Sett says they need to be careful. They're fighting tooth and claw. They need to get a little bit more damage as TasteLess goes golden, but he might be in trouble. Going to go low, but will be able to survive for a second longer. Sinmivak has the F2 and throw. Rabble gets felled, and it's the Red Stars who take the fight around the Dragon once again. But they can't really move towards this Baron, you've got to imagine.
Yeah, it's the limitations of a Go Rogue's draft as well in a team fight scenario. They beat them on a side lane, but they don't beat them in the grouped up 5 versus 5. Teleports now coming in from a Go Rogue, trying to pressure Red Star away from the Baron to make sure that they can grab the objective for themselves.
Tsiperakos is the one trying to clear out these minion waves, not giving Rogue any opportunity to gain on the crackback. Tsiperakos throwing lasers, throwing damage. Wondro's going to be here, throwing even more so at the likes of Lucian and Tryndamere. Nite is hiding behind the Gromp, using it as a shield. But Wondro, his sights are firmly set towards the Lucian. Nite on the back, they're going to be able to get the slow down on the top side. There's a big culling into Wondro, but he just deletes in the back from the rift as Tao goes down top as well.
Oh, and just like that, a Go Rogue, they start falling apart a little bit. 50-second death time on Sinmivak now. Wonder what Red Star is going to be using this downtime for. They can try and use it around the Baron buff. They can try and use it to get more picks, to get a Go Rogue to make more mistakes, because they might be desperate now. beansu trying to just get some vision. You can see he's cheeky about the placement of it, but surely the sweepers will spot it, and they do.
Wondro teleporting in there, actually wants to be around this Baron buff, and they're going to just start it up. DoubleAiM dives towards it. The rest of the team follows suit. Golden Toast, I believe, is going to be the last one there, and he's a lot of the damage coming on through, but Drowsy onto 2. Could be massive. The Misfortune on, but rips through TasteLess, but beansu goes the same way. Wondro taking down Nite, but he's going to be able to Undying Rage as Jayce has to move back. So much poke, so much damage. Playing at the edge of the fight now on single-digit health, it felt like. Crvena Zvezda take a beating, move away from the worm, but it's only a 1-for-1 in the fight.
I can't believe Wondro lived that. What an incredible movement from him in that team fight. He procced the Eclipse, and then with the movement speed, we're able to run out of there with the Phase Rush. Only trading 1-for-1 there, absolutely incredible, but good stabilization from a Go Rogue. They were a member down, and they were able to trade even. Let's have a look at the replay once again, because it starts up with the sleeve. Misfortune, just that's the combo we talked about right there. But then look at Wondro, because he's getting engaged on by Nite, but he's able to just knock him away, get the shield from the Eclipse, and then just scatter.
Doing a lot of damage, a little bit of poke onto Rabble is enough to dissuade him further, but you've got to imagine that combination, Lillia, Misfortune, it killed TasteLess outright on the Nautilus. They can fight it onto someone like Viktor, like Jayce. You've got to imagine Wondro being the primary target of a lot of engagements now. That could be disastrous for Crvena Zvezda. Ego Rogue definitely looking to try and make that one stick, but the Baron is still on the map, and if they can survive another 2 minutes and take another Dragon, they'll be the ones with Soul.
Oh yeah, and it is definitely getting way closer this game than anyone would have first anticipated, especially with the early game that came through from a Go Rogue. They're not going to take it slow this time around though, they're just going to start up the Drake, or Baron rather, once again.
They're going to part the Red Sea with that bowling ball, but TasteLess needs to be careful about being a projectile. Baron is secured. 5 members of Crvena Zvezda. A lot of damage come through from Misfortune, but now Luck has been caught up by DoubleAiM. Going to get the Drowsy down, though. Nite picks up the first one of the fight. They're ripping through Red Star as Ego Rogue surviving in the midst of the fray. Wondro and Tsiperakos are there. Rabble goes golden, but they might have baited Jayce. Wondro goes down. The shutdown onto Lucian. Tsiperakos is also going to be taken out. It's the ace for Ego Rogue. They barrel towards the mid lane.
And in the end, it's just the better team fight from a Go Rogue. They're so long death timers right now. Only 25 is the shortest on TasteLess. And I don't think that's going to be enough. A Go Rogue, it wasn't a clean game, but they should be able to take it now.
Closer than anyone expected is right, but at the end of the game, it's the favorites. It's Ego Rogue who will be barreling into the Nexus, take down both towers, destroy the Crystal, and grab themselves their first win at these Amazon European Masters group stages.
There we have it. And I think the gold lead doesn't really tell the story of how close this game really was. Despite a Go Rogue in the winning moments being up by 7k, Red Star, they really made that game close, and they really showed some great highlights and mechanical displays through some of that team fighting. It's very unfortunate they weren't able to really get that team fight going for them after Baron, because the call was so good. You know, they completely caught a Go Rogue off guard, and Lucian wasn't even in the area to be a part of the team fight. It's just really through Rabble being able to, with the movement speed, close it out and get the rest of the members to die.
Absolutely. We're going to jump to a short break, but when we come back, it's going to be interviews, and then we're going to look towards our final game of the night. Vitality B up against Eintracht Spandau. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you in a few minutes.